Welcome back to Melanin Mysteries, the podcast where true crime meets cocoa butter vibes and a sprinkle of dark humor. Today we're diving into a case straight out of the DMV area, and no, not the place where your soul goes to die waiting for your license renewal. It's a story of Jholie Moussa, a young woman whose life took a heartbreaking turn involving a tangled web of relationships and a man-child who didn't get the memo that love doesn't involve murder. So grab your snacks, your tea, and maybe a stress ball because by the end of this, you're going to want to throw something. So let's get into it. I'm your host, Tiffany.
And I'm your co-host, Willie.
Let's set the scene. It's a Saturday night. You're a 16-year-old girl and your parents are out of town for the weekend. So what do? You hit up a party. Well, at least that's what Jholie Moussa told her identical twin, Janae, she planned to do that evening. Well, not exactly. So according to Janae, on the late afternoon of January 12th, 2018, Jholie was doing her hair. But she wasn't her normal self. She was distracted and she was texting somebody back and forth before she abruptly stopped doing her sister's hair and said, quote, "I'll be right back," and left the house. So Jholie Deborah Renee Moussa was born March 21st, 2001 to her parents Cyril Moussa and Cyrita Stewart Hill. Her parents did get divorced when the girls were about 5, but they had a good co-parenting relationship. So she had her twin, Janae, that we spoke of, and then she also had bonus siblings, Kyra, Urana, and Eric Jr. Her mom married a man, his name was Eric Hill. Jholie was a sophomore at Mount Vernon High School in Fairfax, Virginia. Their mom, Cyrita, after she remarried, when the girls were around 15, 16, she ended up moving to Fort Hood, Texas. I'm assuming her new husband was an army man. If you know anything about Fort Hood, Texas, it's in the middle of fucking nowhere,
Mm.
literally.
You used
The
to live there?
highlight, yes, I did. I lived there very briefly, and the highlight of the whole town was the 3 Walmarts in the commissary. There was literally nothing there. It's in the middle of fucking nowhere. Austin is an hour away. Houston's like 3 hours away. Nothing is close. It's just the middle of fucking nowhere.
Like Euclid.
No, you
No,
could get
South
to the
Euclid. No,
places, but
South Euclid. It's in the middle of nowhere. My bad.
I lived in South Euclid. I like South Euclid.
No, it's not. But it's in the middle of nowhere. That's all I was trying. That's the point I'm making. It was just in the middle of nowhere. That's it.
It's the middle of the city. Whatever. So anyway, so the girls ended up staying with their father. They were flourishing where they were, and they didn't want to be uprooted. So Jolie's family said that she excelled in school. She loved to sing and she was very passionate about writing. Everyone said her smile made their day brighter. She was very caring and never hesitated to lend a helping hand. And even though the girls were identical twins, they had totally different personalities. So Jholie was the older twin by 2 minutes. She was the bossy twin and she always took care of her twin sister. And they said the two had never been apart for more than 12 hours. And let me just say, they were, oh my gosh, Jholie was freaking gorgeous.
Oh
Her
yeah,
and her
yeah,
twin, she
yeah. They
gorgeous
definitely was.
girls.
Yes.
Gorgeous girls.
Okay, let's talk about Jolie. So the day that Jolie disappeared, like we said, she was in the middle of doing her sister hair, but she was distracted on her phone. She told her sister that she'd be right back, and she left the house. She actually said, "I got to go grab something," and just get up and abruptly left the house. The Ring doorbell that was on the house caught her leaving the house. I think just after 4 p.m. The girl father was out of town for the weekend, and he was under the assumption that Janae and Jolie would be staying with Jolie's best friend Leslie for the weekend while he was gone. So Zane didn't want to stay with Leslie. Like we mentioned, the two were very different, and she felt like Leslie and Jolie were more mature and not as fun. So she said, I'm not about to be over there cramping their style." So not long after Jolie left, Janae texted her sister, just to check up on her since she left so urgently. She said she got an odd response back. So I guess Jolie answered, quote, "I'm going to Norfolk to a party." Now that was kind of odd because Norfolk was about 3 hours away, and that was out of the norm for Jolie. So a few hours go by, and Jolie still hasn't come back. Her friend Leslie comes by the house to pick up Jolie because they had planned for Jolie to spend the night. But Janae tells her, "Hey, look, Jolie isn't here." So of course Leslie's like, "Oh, man, come on. Nigga, why would you have me drive all the way over here?" So she called Jolie and didn't get a response. So she just goes home. So around midnight, a Snapchat status update is noticed by Lassie before she went to bed. And it said that she was at a party in Norfolk. So she looked at her Snapchat and Jolie's pop up, message came up saying that she was at a party in Norfolk, which was kind of odd also because usually with Snapchat, they'll take pictures. So like it'd be pictures or whatever. This was
Nigga,
just
how you know you don't be on Snapchat?
because I did my research. Okay,
Nigga, you
jeez.
don't be on Snapchat. You barely know how to work Instagram.
I don't, but I did my research on this case, okay? I'm trying to get better, you know what I'm saying, with each case. So I did my research. Let me cook. Can I cook? Can I
Oh,
cook? Jeez.
yes.
So as I was saying before, I was rudely interrupted. Snapchat usually you take pictures. It was kind of odd for her to receive a Snapchat and all it was a blank screen with words in it, right? So she said that was kind of weird or whatever, but she just went to bed because she said, "Well, it is what it is," and it. It said the party was in Norfolk. So of course, Nancy, before she went to bed, of course she was irritated because like she like this is my best friend. We had plans, and why would the hell you would leave and go to a party and not invite me or at least tell me? So Jolie was like, man, whatever. And not to mention, Jolie was even a party girl. That was even her style, which was a little off, but old girl left it alone. It's like it is what it is. And she said, I just deal with it the very next day. So she just went to sleep. So, all right. Well, I mean, since you're trying to put me on blast, you're right. I don't do Snapchat. What is Snapchat? So I was trying to sound educated for the case, but you just made me sound even more stupid. So what
I
is,
don't know.
do you use Snapchat?
No, I don't use Snapchat. You know shit. I just got on damn TikTok. I
Well,
don't
how
know.
you gonna talk about I don't use something and you don't even use it? So how you know what I use then? What happened
Cause
if I
nigga,
was using it and you don't know because you're not on it?
cause I know you don't use Snapchat because you can barely work damn Instagram. Every week you be like, "Hey, can you post this?" You
You
be
ain't
like,
got to
"Hey,
post our business out here.
this ain't working
You ain't
right."
got to post our business out there. What happens at Melanin Mysteries stays at Melanin Mysteries. All right, go ahead and go. We gonna have a meeting about this.
So the next morning, there still hadn't been a peep from Jolie. So no one has seen or heard from her friends and Janae. They're texting and calling, and they're getting no response. So like they're worried by now because this is just not like Jolie. So the twins' uncle Christian, he was scheduled to stay with them after they had come back from Leslie. So Leslie was like, "Look, we need to tell somebody that your sister is missing because now I'm nervous. I'm scared. We need to tell somebody." So Janae tells her uncle when he gets her that Jolie's missing. So Christian, he immediately calls their parents. So Cyrita, like we said, she was living in Texas. They're in Virginia, so she did say that she had noticed she had a missed call from Jolie that night before, but she said that usually when if she misses Jolie's call, Jolie will immediately text her. But this time Jolie didn't text her. And she's calling Jolie and Jolie's not responding. So when she gets the call from Christian, she immediately books a flight back to Virginia. She need to find out what's going on with her baby.
Now that's that. Now that's a mama right there. No question
Mhm.
asked. Book that
Yeah,
flight. Let let that happen to me, and I found out one of my kids. I'm done. I'm gone. That's a scary
absolutely.
feeling, though. Real talk. That is a very imagine a feeling of one of your kids calling saying they can't find another kid. I can only imagine the agony. Even on plane that flight.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, I can't. So Jolie's parents they reported her missing that very next day, which was January 13th of 2018. So unfortunately, the county police they classified her as a runaway. They didn't believe she was in any danger, but her family wasn't having that shit. They were like, no, because Jolie's not the type to just leave home, not call, not say anything. That's not her. So the family took matters to their own hands and they started their own search. They went up to Norfolk. They were knocking on doors around the college campus, like trying
Mhm.
to see if anybody knew where she was. They're posting on social media. They're asking friends. Cyrita, she's reaching out to local news stations. She's doing what she needs to do as a mama to find out where her baby is. So out the blue, a reporter named Peggy Fox, she was from Washington D.C. She actually shows up on the family's doorstep. Like she got wind of it, and she's like, "Look, we're gonna bring her home." So she's like, "Let's do a Facebook Live. We want to bring awareness to Jolie's disappearance." And
Did you
she said
see?
that,
I'm sorry. Did you see Peggy Fox? How she look?
yes, she's a white lady.
Man, that
What
look.
about her?
I'm about to catch flat. That bitch like a man. I think she's a transgender.
Don't start. Do not start.
I said the right thing. I did not say the one thing
I
you told me not
we
to
no,
say.
we're not even about to go down that rabbit hole today. I'm not doing this with you today. So anyway, because I glanced at the lady when I was watching the episode, no, but we're not going down that hole today. I am not in the mood
Okay,
today.
okay, my bad. Go ahead. I'm sorry. You
So
right.
anywho, the Ring video camera, she said when she saw the footage, like, Jolie leaves the house, she has nothing but her coat and her phone. So it's evident she didn't run away. She's not running away with nothing. So it looks like she plans to come right back, like she told her sister. So within 15 minutes, the live had over 50,000 views and shares with the hashtag Find Jolie. They said celebrities were sharing, other news stations were also picking up on the story, but unfortunately, they still had no leads after that.
And the mess up part is, so I guess in Virginia, if you're 16, like they say technically you can leave if you want to, which is so crazy
I
because
don't think
then
that you can leave if you want to, but they feel like you're more amped to leave, like of your own free
yeah, yeah,
will.
exactly. Not yeah, of course you have a curfew because you are under the age of 18, but I meant like they don't take it as serious. So that's 48 hours right there. Like in
Mhm.
I'm not trying to be funny. One thing I learned from the fourth, you got what they say in the first 48 hours. It's like the most, the
Critical.
yeah, critical
Yeah.
time or whatever. So that's crazy to me. So after 48 hours, the law enforcement had to jump in. They had no choice. So on January 15th, the Fairfax County Police Department Major Crime Bureau entered Jolie into the national system of missing children juveniles. Although the police department still believed that Jolie left home voluntarily, her family even searched through the local park, Woodlawn Park, to no avail. Keep that in mind, okay? The initial search focused on friends' homes and local hangouts, and they also went to Old Dominion University in Norfolk. Because remember, she was supposed to go out there and went to a party. So they wanted to check that out also. But there was no evidence that she even went to Norfolk. No bus pass, no friends took her. So that option was ruled out. Also, remember, Norfolk was 3 hours away from where she was at, right? 3 hours away. So you just up and just left to go 3 hours and then tell nobody. That's
But not ain't dressed. You done left out. You ain't got no
I mean,
purse, no
yes,
money,
you ain't even
no
dressed
ID.
impressed. You
Right.
just yes. I ain't gonna lie, she was looking homeless when she left the house. I'm not being disrespectful to the, you know what I'm saying? God rest her sweet baby soul. I'm not being disrespectful, but she did. I say that to say you knew she
I
was
walk
going to
around all the
party.
time looking homeless. I just be like, shit, when I'm ready to run an errand, like I just throw on whatever and I go outside. I look, you know me. I be like, oh, I look homeless today.
Yeah, you're not about to try to go no party looking like that. So
Mm.
next, the FCPD Major Crime Bureau um uh joint investigation. They started gathering phone records and looking into social media accounts, looking for answers. Next, the FBI Virginia field office and the National Center of Missing and Exploited Children got involved, and they changed the runaway status to endangered missing person. So now it got more weight on it. You know, it definitely got more weight, so it's going to get more attention. Janae mentioned that she noticed Jolie would be texting someone named Gio, but she had no idea who Gio was, and neither did anyone else. So the police started asking around as to who this Gio person was. So this is the crazy part. So Cyrio, which was Jolie's father, Jolie and Janae's father, stopped in the barber shop to get his hair cut. And, they talking about, what's going on, people asking questions. And he mentions the name of Gio. And it's just so crazy. His barber mentioned that, hey, there's only one Gio that we know. And he actually go to the same school as Jolie. So imagine the father, he like, oh shit, what? Like he getting amped up. So he actually, the barber actually cuts Gio hair as well. So he actually called Gio, like, hey Gio, I got Jolie father on the phone. I mean, here, I'm doing this here. Let's we wanted to kind of ask a couple questions because we know that you knew who Jolie was. So the family, they all decided because they figured like they got some type of lead. So Cyril spoke with Gio, and Gio specifically said that he knew who Jolie was, but not on that level. And he requested to speak with the detective so he could be on record saying that he had absolutely nothing to do with any of this. That's a very smart young man. He said, I'm not about to tell y'all something you twist my words up or whatever the case may be. So her family was hoping that Jolie would have been with Gio. Unfortunately, that was not the case. So police they do their investigation. They dug all into Gio, alibi, and everything, and they were unable to find anything of substance connecting him to Jolie's disappearance. So he was ruled out as um, a potential what? What do you call those again?
Suspect.
Suspect. My bad.
So another friend that came to mind was Nebu Ibrahim. So nephew Yusef Ibrahim was born July of 2000 in Alexandria, Virginia. He was a straight A student at Mount Vernon High School with Jolie, and that's where they met. He was also a star basketball player. They had been dating all of Jolie's high school career, so this was like her very first boyfriend. So Cyrita said about Nebu that he was very smart and respectful. He was a pretty good guy, and she loved how well they got along. But about 4 months before Jolie went missing, the two had broken up. So not long after the couple had broken up, one day Jolie was walking home from school. She and Nebu had gotten into, a little argument, a little spat. And he actually jumped on Jolie, and a neighbor saw it and called the police. So Jolie, like, she tried to downplay the situation, saying, it's my fault. He didn't mean it. And Jolie's parents were like, nah, we don't do that around here.
Hell
They
no.
you lucky her daddy ain't woke up and beat your ass.
I mean, let me tell you right now. Let somebody put their hands on my daughter. Like, man, I'm whooping your ass. I don't care. I'll go to jail for that. Easy.
Right.
Lock me
So
up. Throw away the key. Sorry.
so they took it straight to the courthouse, and 3 months before her disappearance, they got a stay away order. So Cyril, he actually approached his nephew to find out if he knew anything about where Jolie may be, as he should.
Mm-hmm.
And Nephew did not knowing anything. So the police, they came and followed up with Nephew as well. They questioned him, and he gave them an alibi. He said he was home with his grandmother. So they kind of like let that alone for the moment. So about a week after Jolie's disappearance, police finally are able to get a hold of her phone records. So no calls recently from Nephew to Jolie. So he was ruled out as a suspect at this point. But the
Okay.
police knew that there was somebody that Jolie was talking to before she went missing because she was still on the Ring camera on her phone. So police, they finally tracked down the last phone number that she spoke with, and it leads into a 13-year-old boy who was playing basketball at Woodlawn Park that day. And the young man said he was at Woodlawn Park when an older man approached him and asked him if he could use his phone. He said he didn't know the man. He said the man was a tall, dark-skinned man with twists in his hair. So police still have no leads on who this man could be. But they start checking cell tower data, and they get an area of where she was before she went missing. So they knew that the phone was in the area of the park. But Woodlawn Park is over 11 acres with a huge wooded area.
Okay. Now, after 2 agonizing weeks, oh my God,
Can you
2 weeks
imagine what
of
they're going
not.
through for two
Yes, 2 weeks of
weeks?
not knowing where your baby is. That shit is. Oh my God, man, that's the worst. I never forget one day with Lil Willie. Man, they mama was always losing them kids, man. Shit, I just thought about that. I remember one day I was holding Christian and she was supposed to be holding Willie, and somehow she let him go or whatever. And we just talking. I'm like, where the fuck is Willie at? And we downtown at Tower City. I'm about to lose my mind because I can't find him. I'm panicking and everything like that. And I just so happened to look, and he was remember it was that Chinese man that used to always give out free chicken.
Mhm.
Willie was there with his hand up trying to get some free chicken. I almost died. You know what I'm saying? So I can that was only probably it felt like 20 minutes. It probably was like literally 45 seconds to a minute. But so I can only imagine 2 agonizing weeks, man. Keep an eye on your children too, man. I should
No,
have
but these
known.
them little toddlers that I never forget. Like, when your kids are little, when you in the mall or something. I remember Isaiah when he was a baby, he like ran under the coat. I mean, not the coat, right, but like one of the clothing racks. Like you said, I'm in there freaking out, and he's somewhere laughing under a damn coat rack.
Yeah,
Oh my
man.
god!
That shit is
And like you said,
crazy.
it's only a few minutes, but it really feels like a
It felt
lifetime.
like a yeah, dude. So I can only imagine about the 2 weeks. So like I said, it was 2 agonizing weeks. On January 26, 2018, unfortunately, Jolie's body was found in Woodlawn Park. God rest her soul. Oh my God, a beautiful young lady. Less than a mile from the pond, I'm sorry, in the shallow grave off a path in the woods. And the police canine cadaver dog was the one that actually found her body. The clothing matched what Jolie was wearing the day she disappeared, in addition to the infinity tattoo that her and her sister both got. Um, that park had been searched through 3 to 4 times, and that's the crazy part. Her auntie Veronica Eugenia said we still less than 200 feet from where she was buried, and had no idea she was there that entire time. So they literally was there, and it was right in that, what I'm saying, the body was just 200 feet away, you know what I'm saying, and they had no idea. That's horrible, bro.
It is like oh my gosh, that's
Yeah.
horrible. So Detective Brian Byerson was called in to solve this homicide case. And with working with the medical examiner's office, it was concluded that Jholie's cause of death was manual strangulation and blunt force trauma. So the question now is, who killed Jholie?
So DNA was collected from Jolie's neck. I guess they looked and saw red marks or bruising on the neck, so they collected the DNA from her. And when the DNA is being processed, detectives are trying to narrow down the list of suspects. And Nevia was the first person. I said it right, Nevia, right? Nevia,
Mhm.
Nevia. Okay, was the first person that came to Zane's mind. When they asked, like, "Hey, was your sister having any beef with anybody, any issues?" She said that Nevia would be angry when he couldn't figure out where Jholie was at times. And she noticed that Jholie would be testing him aggressively, and she thought it was kind of strange. Combine that with the fact that it was that, remember, that stay away order that was issued because he couldn't keep his hands to his goddamn self. No, I'm saying, I understand young love, but that shit, yeah, that's reckless as hell. But let's back up just a bit, right? So 6 days before Jolie's body was found, the police spent the block and went back and spoke with Nevia, and he slipped up and mentioned that he strangled Jolie and to the point of unconsciousness. So he actually strangled her until she passed out. And this was after that stay away order was in effect. So that stay order was in effect, she still went back over there. And that's just so crazy. Like, God damn, that's horrible. That's horrible. So police subpoenaed the phone and social media records, and in an Instagram message to a friend, Nevia confirmed that he did indeed choke Jolie and he wanted to get away and hide. They also located texts from Jolie that she sent to a friend who also confirmed that she was strangled. From there, a warrant was issued for Nevia's arrest for the strangulation because, regardless of the fact, even though um, she did not report the crime, it's still a crime. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So they like, all right, we got your little monkey ass. So from there, like I said, the issue was warrant. I mean, there was a warrant that was issued, and police then arrested Nevia on January 18th for the December 2017 strangulation charge. So while they had him in custody, they were working to prove that he was in fact a murderer. Because I mean, what's the odds? You know what I'm saying? They got a stay away order from your little, know what I'm saying, aggressive, obsessive ass. You didn't put your hands on her, and now they find out that you were choking. Know what I'm saying? You like to choke bitches. I'm not calling her that, but no, I'm just saying he liked to choke because I guarantee you she was the only one that he choked. And so they're like, okay, so they start working with the DA's office based off his history. So they're like, okay, he actually has a history of abusive, abusive behavior. So let's go ahead and check him out. So that's what happened.
So the prosecution, they decided to offer Nebu a plea deal for the strangulation case that he was currently sitting in jail for. So they offered to let him plead guilty as a juvenile. But what Nebu didn't know was that they would use this guilty plea to show a pattern of abuse going forward. So Nebu, he takes the deal and he was sentenced to a month in the juvenile detention center. So while he was sitting in jail, the DNA evidence came back and it was proven that Nebu was in fact the murderer.
Damn, ugh. Hey, yeah, you saw it, man. You saw it. We gonna show y'all a picture of his low. Yeah, it's frail, bony ass, man. Damn. Look like a number two pencil. Burnt one too at that. So Jolie was laid to rest on February 11, 2018 at the New Life Open Bible Church in Springfield, Virginia. The day that Nevia was released from the juvenile detention center, Detective Byers was waiting right outside for him and arrested him for the murder of Jholie Moussa. They brought Nevia back down to the station and they hoped that he would be able to get a confession.
This conversation that you were having, were you guys kind of arguing?
I mean, it was like at one point we argued a little bit, but it was mostly like good. It's just we got good after that. Like, nothing really. I go ahead, talk to her, and we just start. Like I don't remember. We started getting really bad. We get to the point like I'm like in a mode, like a heat of passion. I just decide like to just. I don't know what told me to do this. I just went behind her and just like I started choking her out, and she finally passed out.
How long do you think you were choking her for?
3, 4, 5 minutes.
Why do you think that you choke her?
That's the ultimate sign of control, like you doing that. And that's when I decided, like, I just like picked her up and I just like kind of like carried her Yeah, like the side of the trail.
That was you, right?
Yeah, that was me. Like I trying to buy some time to figure out what to do.
Jholie had changed the name.
I think he was Somalian.
I I don't
They
know.
do because they all look alike. Like really do look like this.
Oh my! I'm not with you today.
I do not.
really
I'm not. No, no, no. Because I live down here and it's a bunch of them. They look and I would okay. All
How would
right.
you feel if they said all black people look the same?
We
You hear?
do.
We do not all look the same. What are you talking about?
You're light skinned, so you're not in this conversation. And second of all, black people do look alike. I'm just saying
What black
Somalis,
people, what black people look like?
me and my son. So look, Somalians look alike. That's all I'm saying. They do. They favor each other. So and he looks like he's
I'm so
Somali.
tired of you. I swear, I'm so tired of
I'm not
you.
being offensive. All right, I'm done. You know what, man? You're right. I'm done. I'm not gonna say nothing. Just go ahead. My bad.
You aggravate this shit. So anyway, nephew, he admits that he called Jholie and asked her to meet him at the basketball courts in Woodlawn Park that day. He said that he had left his phone at home, so he asked the teen if he could use his phone, and he was the one who was on the phone talking to Jholie when she was leaving the house. So the name Gio that was in Jolie's phone was actually nephew because they weren't supposed to be speaking, so she changed his name. You know how that goes. So it actually was just pure coincidence that the Geo from the barber shop just so happened to have the same name. So pure coincidence. And he was like, remember, he was like, I had nothing to do with that. Put it on
Yep.
record. It
He
wasn't
said,
me. He was like,
he said, I
yeah.
know her, but I don't know her like that.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was like, see, just put it on record. It wasn't me. He wasn't playing. It wasn't him. So the interrogation went on for 5 hours. That is a long ass interrogation.
Yeah, that is. Yep.
So when the detective asked Nephew why was he so angry with Jholie, Nephew said he was angry because due to the stay away order, he was forced to go to a different school where he had no friends and it interrupted his basketball record. He said he felt like his life took a downward turn all because of Jholie.
Well, keep your hands to yourself, you punk head bitch.
That part.
I
But
mean,
you
I'm
took
just yeah.
yeah,
I'm
but I
sorry.
mean, yeah, but that's like a typical abuser. Like you can't even take responsibility for your part. And
Yeah,
had you
yeah,
not
you
put
still
your hands on her, you wouldn't have had to go to the school. It's not her fault. It's your fault.
exactly. So I mean, yeah, that's crazy. Like real talk. That's you attacked her because you're upset because you want to move on, and you're upset because there are consequences behind your actions. That's that tip, man. I'm telling you, these new age kids, man, they something else. I swear to God, they something else.
So on August 31st of 2018, he was officially charged with first degree murder. And while he was sitting in juvie, he had turned 18.
So Nevia described how he and Jolie were walking down a path. She tried to nudge him, and she stumbled. This is when he put her in an MMA chokehold, and he choked her until she lost consciousness. Then he laid her down on the path and choked her again with both hands. He then propped her body up and choked her for 3 to 5 minutes until she passed away. He said that he was in a blind rage. So he said, quote, this is what he said, you know you're in a heat of passion. You're just in a blind rage. I started choking her more and more to the point where it was like, don't know what drove me to that point, unquote. He also said that after he killed Jolie, he came back to the park hours later and took the Sims card from her phone, put it in a weighted batch, and threw it in the pond in the park. Nevia also he had also pushed her body into the shallow grave in the woods with a chef's knife. I don't get that part. I don't know if she had any knife cuts, but this is his confession. He also confessed that he was the one who posted the Snapchat update about the party to cover his tracks. So Neville was arraigned in juvenile court for murder since at the time he was still a minor. The judge appointed Neville an attorney and he was held without bond. However, the prosecutor was able to convince the judge to try Neville as an adult. Yes, because he need grown man taking his Bucci cat for that shit. Know what I'm saying? Not no little boys. He need grown. He need Big Bubba, Nasty Nate. Know what I'm saying? And
Why
Cowboy
he gotta
Steve.
get raped in jail?
He
Dang.
need to. I mean, that's the consequences for your actions, baby. You know what I'm
Well, he
saying?
can just get his ass beaten there. That worked too.
Getting your ass beat ain't like it's different. Getting your ass taken is different than getting your ass beat. Know what I'm saying? And he need his ass.
That's more and more violence. You just violent.
That's
Just
ad
violent.
violence. That ain't got nothing to do with me. I don't write the rules to this. It don't say it's rules to this game, and I share with you too. No, they're gonna rape you for whatever you do. So I ain't got nothing to do with that. So anyway, they have found evidence that Nevian had used his mother's phone and were researching how long it would take to kill a person by choking them just hours before he killed Jholie. So this was definitely premeditated.
Absolutely. And y'all, I need these killers to stop researching shit like it can't be traced. I mean, I'm just saying.
Well, yeah, I get that. Yeah, know what I'm saying? So back to him getting raped. You don't think he need to get raped? I'm not look
No.
again, I'm not saying rape it. Let's get I'm talking about jailhouse justice. I'm not talking about out
Okay,
here
so then why can't they just beat his ass in jail? I mean, why they gotta rape the nigga? Like, I mean, I don't wish that on nobody. Just beat his ass. I mean, he
because
already in
because
there.
you
He's
killed the
punished and
innocent young
suffer.
you killed the innocent young lady for
You
no
can't.
reason at
Okay, okay,
all.
okay. But that's violence. That's part of the problem. You're creating a cycle of violence. Like it has to stop somewhere. Just beat his
Not
ass.
nah. Oh, beating his ass is violence. What are you talking about? That's
Okay,
just
but that's
violence.
different. I mean, but that's different. You get your ass beat and move on with your life. I mean, you
Is you
get
could
raped.
get your
That's a
ass
whole.
taken and move on with your life. You know what I'm saying? What you
No,
mean? I
that's
mean,
total.
you may
That's a
not
whole
yeah,
different
you
level
you
of.
may not be the same, you might
You're not gonna be the same. That's
hey,
traumatizing.
you got your ass
Lord,
taken?
Lord Jesus. We gonna keep you in prayer, Bess. I'm gonna be on the prayer
Look,
line
let me
praying.
tell you, man, this was one of them cases that it was no really humor in it, so I had to do something with the ending part pertaining to him because, I mean, he deserved it. I'm sorry. I gotta I have a very, how can I explain it? It's a stuff like this it infuriates me, it frustrates me, you know what I'm saying? Like when, innocent people like just no reason. Like if move on. We talked about this. If you don't want me, then don't talk to me. Fantasia said it are the best. Like if I don't want to deal with you no more, you know what I'm saying? Move the fuck on. You gonna kill her. So yes, again, you need your booty cat taken. Go ahead.
I still don't agree with it. So anyway, nephew was scheduled to go to trial October of 2019, but he ended up taking a plea deal instead. So on September 5th of 2019, he pled guilty to first degree murder. And during victim impact statements, Janae spoke. She said, "quote I felt like you were in my life, but I'm not going to give you the power anymore. No one in this situation has to suffer but you. You think you won by ending my sister's life, but you are in for a rude awakening." That was a very powerful statement to come from such a young girl who went through such tragedy. She lost her twin.
Yeah.
She was that was so big of her. Like, oh
Yeah.
my gosh, like that almost made me cry. Like that was so mature and big of her because whew, I don't know if I could be so strong.
No, because I would have been no, I would try to jump over to try to tackle him. Or I would like, man, I hope every day that you in jail, somebody tickle your booty cat.
Yes, we know what you would
Okay.
say.
All right.
So he was sentenced to 99 years in prison.
Damn.
Like, I mean, your life gone. You turned 18 in jail. The day you got out, they come and took your ass back. Like, was it worth it? 99 years. You're not gonna live that long.
No,
That's
not at all. 99 years. Yes, that's what I'm saying. He was young. And then granted, I know they're like, well, that's a young boy that yes, I get it. It's a horrible situation. But yeah, 99 years, bro.
so nephew, he apologized to Jolie's family and said that he hopes that one day they can forgive him. But his defense team did argue against such a harsh sentence, stating that, quote, children are constitutionally different than adults. They have diminished culpability and greater prospects for reform. But the judge wasn't trying to hear none of that shit.
You agree with that?
I definitely don't think he should have gotten 99 years. I
Shit.
definitely think he should have gotten a very lengthy sentence. But we do know that, impulse behavior, you can I believe, like, I would have given it maybe 40 years
4?
or 50, 40 40
Oh, I thought you
40.
said 4, man. I was going, oh, yeah, that was going to be the end of our podcast right there.
No,
Okay.
no, like 40, 50 years to where you saying, like, I think people forget that. I mean, even though the system is not built, it's not function. Well, it is functioning how they built it, but the origin it was supposed to be built to reform you, to put things into place for you to.
But it's
It's
not
not
though. Let's be
punishment.
honest with you. Jail is
It's
a
not, but
business. Yes, it's
yeah,
not
I
meant for
know, but
that.
I'm just
Yes.
it's but I don't know. He was still a child at the time, and that does not excuse his behavior at all. But I still wouldn't have given a 18-year-old life in prison. I wouldn't have done. Me personally, I wouldn't have done that.
I got you. I got you. So Jolie's family cheered at the sentencing. Sarita said that she felt relieved and grateful, yet also sad and angry. He was a boy the family knew. He even shared Thanksgiving dinner with them. So Jolie's father and twin did leave the area following her death. Her father said Nevia's sentencing is not going to bring her back, but it's comforting knowing justice was being served. So Nevia is serving his sentence at the Keene Mountain Correctional Facility in Oakwood, Virginia. And and I ain't gonna say unfortunately, but at this time there is no parole date for him. So yeah, that was a sad one. It really was. That really was a sad one because it was just. I mean, a lot of the majority of the cases that all of the cases that we cover, it's always sad. But it's always, I don't know, it's always hit a little bit different when, young people. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
Like
and she
people,
was
like
such
damn.
like she was such a pretty young lady. Like, I mean, and you could tell she was very smart. Like, she was really like full of life. Like when they showed the videos of her, and it was just heartbreaking. Like that's really what it was. Oh, and I did forget to mention that her family did start a nonprofit for children who they assume are missing, they assume are runaways, but are really missing. And the hashtag Justice for Jolie is still active. In case you want to look it up,
Yeah, for
that is
sure.
still active. So, ready
All
for the
right.
next part?
Yeah. So now it's time for our um segment called
Love, lies, and alibis.
okay.
So, since we're
What we
on the
got? What we got?
since we're on the topic of teen dating violence, we're gonna talk about some statistics today and just the impact of the issue. So it says that 1 in 12 high school students experience physical dating violence, and this includes being hit, slapped, or physically hurt on a purpose by a dating partner. One
Mm.
in 12 high school students experience sexual dating violence, and this says this involves being forced into sexual acts against their will. 26% of teens in dating relationships report being digitally abused. Examples include excessive texting, monitoring, or spreading rumors online, which I hate that.
No, I don't know how to say this, but I was a victim. I was.
Oh, Lord.
What? I mean, I'm dead serious. I was a victim of, yes, I was a victim of an abusive girlfriend when I was in high school. Her name was Elizabeth, Anastasia's mother. I'm just gonna put her out there. Look, the bitch was crazy. Real talk. Yes, it was to the point where it was after Anastasia was born, and she was very obsessive, very, very obsessive. I was in the 12th grade, she was in the 11th grade. I remember one time I was in my classroom and I'm sitting there chilling, and all of a sudden she just bust in the classroom, come to the back, and started attacking me, fighting me in front of like the teacher and everything. It was so bad that they didn't, for whatever reason, they didn't move. It was public school, so they don't give a shit like that. They didn't put her in another school. What they did was they had the security guard walk her to each one of her classes to make sure she went to her classes, and the teacher would not allow her to go to any of her classes because she would try to attack me in the hallway. Know what I'm saying? I was scared. I felt, know what I'm saying? I felt like, know what I'm saying? I was singled out and nobody cared. It was horrible. What, you laughing at so men can't get abused? Is you laughing at this? Do I hear chuckling? Do I hear cackling in the back?
It's not.
Oh,
It's
damn, you really
not
a
funny.
laugh. I was abused, man. Yes, it was
It's not.
horrible.
It's not funny.
That's
But it's
horrible.
just how you said it. Like you were just so sad.
I was sad, man. Elizabeth, if you listening, man, I hope you got your life together. You know what I'm saying? A matter of fact, I just talked to her the other day too. It was her birthday. Yeah, She was crazy,
And
man. I
that
ain't
was
gonna
not
lie.
funny. It was just like you just sounded like a little kid, so dejected. It
I
really was.
was like for real, like it was bad. Like I was so embarrassed, man. Like I was so embarrassed because then that's when I really, I had the whole ugly duckling syndrome. You know what I'm saying? I was ugly, and then from ninth and all the way up to the 10th grade, and then 11th grade, I did a 180. Know what I'm saying? Is it 180? Yeah, 180, right? Yeah, I did a 180, and know what I'm saying? Got my braids. I had a job. My teeth was fixed because I got my braces. And know what I'm saying? Back then they didn't want me. Now I was hot. They was all the hoe was all on me. But I
Well,
was
I
all
was listening
but
to
I
that
with
earlier.
her. And like when I say she had them chicks terrified. They wouldn't even say nothing to me. They're like, I'm not dealing with you. That was embarrassing, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I was getting punked by a female at school. I
Yeah,
literally had to get protection walking the classes. That was horrible, man. Oh god.
yeah, that is why. But no, like real talk, like that's so sad. Like I mean,
No,
whew.
yeah, man, look. Young love is dangerous. The young
Oh no,
love
it
is
absolutely is.
dangerous
Like
because that's that I'll do anything for you. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Because it's your
it is.
first
Yeah,
emotion.
your first
Yeah.
love, you break up. Is oh my gosh, and it's crazy because it's like like honestly just looking at my son's. Oh my god, my son, and I just be like, Lord Jesus, how he be like, I told you his girlfriend, she clingy, like she real clingy, and I be
Yeah,
like,
your son, man. Yeah. I told him that's why I told him
I don't think that's normal. Like
he should have went to the service and met a whole bunch of hoes that was on some man. I'm sorry. I know they're
tried
like,
to
wow,
tell
a
him.
whole
I
bunch
tried
of
to tell
women.
him.
A whole
Well, no,
bunch
but
of
I told him I
women.
was like, he's too young to be tied down. Like I did it at 18, and I was like, it's not the business. Like get out, live your life. Like I ain't saying you got to have a whole phase, but just date around. I was like, 'cause I never experienced that. I never dated around. I never had a whole phase. I'm too old to have one now. Um, yeah.
Hell
So,
yeah. You better be careful now.
oh, I don't even. You know me. I don't even feel like being bothered. But yeah, I'm like, but I feel like you need to experience. Experience. Find out what you actually like. Just because at 18
You
you're
really
not the
figure
same
yourself
person at
out.
18 that you're gonna be at 25.
No,
So
you're
you're gonna
not.
go through a whole transformation. So, like I said, but young love is so dangerous. Like I say, it's
It
it's
is.
so it's so intense. Like
Yes,
it
it was
is.
then that's what it was. She was so it wasn't even love, it was obsession. Like she was obsessed with me. I was like, oh my God, like this is not gonna end good. I'm talking about, you know what I'm saying? Oh man, she was obsessed with me, man. Like it was bad. Like I'm glad she finally and she was Puerto Rican and Colombia. So I told you she's a mutt. I told you, man, when you mix two freaking cultures together, they come out fucked up. Know what I'm saying? And now look, we raising a little fucked up little nigga Anastasia. She crazy.
I have no words for you besides that. But I know I'm just sitting here reflecting because I was like, I wasn't a well. I met him when I was 17. He wasn't
Who, your
abusive.
baby daddy?
Yeah. Okay, so I call my baby daddy. We was married for a second. At least bumped me up to
Nigga, that
next
was
level.
not a marriage, nigga. That was not even considered marriage. I don't even think the paint dried on the that was not a marriage.
Okay, but I still married him. I mean,
That was an agreement. That was an agreement. Let's clarify that. That was not a marriage. That was an agreement. Okay. That was
whatever.
a
Okay, back.
situation that happened. Okay. It's okay. Your ex
But it was a legal situation that happened. I had a
okay,
we ain't
your
gonna talk
ex
about
okay, we'll say your
it.
ex
I would say I
husband.
had a ring on it. We ain't gonna talk about that ring. But anyway, let's move on to the remaining statistics here. So they said that girls are more likely than boys to experience severe forms of dating violence, including being physically and sexually harmed. And boys, they say, also experience dating violence, but societal stigmas may discourage them from reporting it. So, like you said, you didn't tell nobody because you were embarrassed. So
Hell no.
there's that. And they say risk factors. So teenagers, they say, are at higher risk include the LGBTQ youth who are more likely to experience dating violence, adolescents with a history of trauma, low self-esteem, or exposure to violence at home, and teens engaging in risky behavior such as substance abuse, right? Because cracks makes you crazy. And they say it does have an impact on your mental health. So victims of teen dating violence are at increased risk for depression and anxiety, suicidal thoughts, and substance abuse. Now that makes a lot of sense. They say they
Mhm.
also may perform poorly in school and have difficulty forming healthy relationships later in life. All of that makes sense. And they say like a lot of prevention and awareness, open communication with parents, educators, and teens is crucial for prevention. Schools and community organizations can implement programs that teach skills for healthy relationships, recognizing warning signs. Okay, now let's be clear about that. As open and honest with your kids as you can be, they never tell you everything. They just don't.
No,
They don't.
because
Like
yeah, because
I
even
can talk to
in
my
this case,
parents.
yeah, in this
So
case, yeah, in this case, they didn't even know that she didn't get choked out before.
no, they didn't. Like I said, because it's like it doesn't. I feel like it doesn't really matter how open you are with your kids. They still feel like, because I say I don't. I talk to my kids all. You come tell me whatever. Like let's talk about it. But there's still certain things that they're just not, for the most part, going to talk to you about. So it's hard to, because you're trying, when they're at a certain age, you're trying to give them the space to grow, and you're not in their business, but you in their business. But it's
Yeah,
only so much that you can find out. So it's a slippery slope. It's just like, I guess it's more so, paying attention to your kids, noticing the signs that something changes up with them. But then again, I don't know, some of these kids so dang gone weird. Like, these kids are just weird. Like, they just
yeah, I
weird.
told you, but no, my kids talked about. I told you that time when little Willie came to me and told me that I guess he had talking to some girl and he wanted to take another girl to the homecoming, so she got mad and started sending a message talking about she about to kill herself and that she about to have her brothers beat him up and everything like that. He finally like, Dad, look, I gotta talk to you about this.
Well, I
And
mean, yeah, I'm glad he did,
yeah,
because like, that could have went totally left. But I'm talking about, like, these kids is weird, like, in the fact that, like, you talk to them, how was your day? Good. Um, Anything happen today? Nope. They come in with all they wear is they hoodies with sweats and Crocs. And I'd be like, it's August. You high? No? Okay.
oh, I'm sorry, no, my bad. It was, I heard a lot, something was going on. My bad. Yes,
Yeah. I'm like, what my Tristan, I'm like, the only time he talks to me is like, what's for dinner? Is there food?
yeah.
I can't,
So
my Wi-Fi isn't working. I
yeah,
said,
that,
are
I
you
mean,
excited for everybody's all excited for the cruise? I'm like, Tristan, what you excited for? The food.
yeah, I mean,
Uh,
yeah, some kids they do not talk, but yeah, this, ay, horrible, horrible.
so that is our case for today. That one was kind of a heavy one. Kind of a heavy one.
Yeah, it really was, man. I mean, seriously, anytime it's the death of, especially like young kids and everything like that, it's hard to even kind of bring a little bit of humor that I try to bring, because yeah, like stuff like that, I don't. Yeah, difficult to hear. You know what I'm saying, seeing a young person lose their life
Especially when
behind
we're like
something
such a
so.
promising, a promising future.
And you know what?
She was
I'll even say this. Yeah, I don't. Even, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you. But I even say this. Then I'm done. Even I feel bad for. I mean, I feel bad for the dude a little bit because like you a fucked up decision, you didn't mess your whole life up.
mm-hmm.
Your whole life up
Over one
because
bad decision. And then on top of that, we don't know, usually, like, a lot of it sometimes is when kids, exhibit abusive behavior, it's something that they've gone through.
yeah,
So,
yeah, true.
it might have been a cycle that he was repeating, because it's hard. Like, kids really do mimic what they see growing up. So,
Yeah,
he may have been a victim himself. We don't know, because it wasn't said anywhere. So, you know what I'm saying? You just never know. But it's like, I feel bad for, like, it's a bad situation for everybody. I feel like when somebody goes to jail for murder, it's not one life that's lost, it's two, because you lose your life to the system, that other person lost their life. So like she said, nobody wins in these situations. And I
yeah,
say it's really sad on all parts of the spectrum. And I say it's really sad that he's never going to get to experience anything.
yeah. You're right.
So, well, that was our case.
Yeah. So just a reminder, we always talk about it. Khadijah Brown. Make sure you guys take a this time we're gonna put the link. We are supposed to put the link. Unfortunately, somehow we're gonna put the link to the
Oh, I
GoFundMe.
forgot. I keep it
Yeah.
real. I forgot. So what
Yeah.
I'll do is I'm gonna forget to put it on the episode. I'm gonna add it to our link tree on our Instagram bio. I'm gonna do
Okay.
that right now, so it'll be in there. Um yeah, so it'll be in our Instagram bio link.
Yeah. So just check
Okay,
that
so
out, like
yeah,
you said. Yeah. check that out. And that's it for me. Go ahead.
Okay, so just a reminder, if you enjoyed, make sure you share with friends and family. It would be nice if you could give us a 5-star rating on Apple or Spotify or Amazon or wherever you get your podcast. We would greatly appreciate it, and it really does help the show grow. We do appreciate you listening and sticking it out with us this far. I know he got issues, but I can't. It's only so much I can do. I be trying.
Oh, you talking
It's
about me? I thought you talking about the dude in the case. Yeah, whatever.
No, I was talking damn sure talking about you. Um, what else do I have? So make sure you're engaging with us on social media. We're on what are we on? Facebook and TikTok is Melanin Mysteries Podcast, and then on Instagram is Melanin Mysteries Pod. And we will be back next week with another case. So we
Mm.
hope you enjoy, and just remember that love should never come with a life sentence. So make sure you choose freedom and not felonies.
All right, that's our show. See you guys next week.